Good morning, my friends. This is Heather Dunlop with Thriving Woman. So great to see you today. So, what I want to share with you today is something that's come up recently, and just want to dig into it a little and share with you how this is impacting your brain and your ability to think and make decisions and move forward in your life. You see, your brain is stuck in survival mode. And that's because, as a survivor, we learned that once we got through that horrible experience, once we survived what was done to us, we were then told by so many people that it's a great thing to be a survivor and we should label ourselves as survivors. Now, yes, it's an amazing thing that you survived the experience. Here's the thing though, there comes a point when to live your life and to move on with your life, you need to get out of survival mode and start living your thriving life. Now, one of the things that happens is when you're constantly telling your brain you're a survivor, your brain stays in survival mode. And what happens in survival mode is that there's constant stress and your brain is releasing all the neurochemicals that keep you in stress, and there's cortisol flying through your body, and it becomes more and more difficult for us to live and do well when our body is releasing so much cortisol and there's constant stress hormones and neurochemicals from the stress that are heading in our brain. It actually makes it very difficult for us to do the everyday little things. Like getting out of bed can feel so difficult and challenging because you're constantly in a state of survival and you haven't released the survival from your brain and from your body. And the other thing that happens is when your brain is in survival mode all the time is that you feel overwhelmed. Everything feels overwhelming and difficult to do and challenging, and you can't take it on. So how does this happen? Well, it comes about because of the trauma that we experienced. You see, when you experience trauma, just surviving from one moment to the next, your brain is releasing all of these chemicals so that you can get through it. Remember, it goes into that fight, flight, or freeze mode, and all these chemicals start flooding into your brain because you need to survive. Now, here's the thing, our brain isn't meant to withstand those constantly. Those neurochemicals are meant to subside and go back so we can go back to our learning brain. What happens when we continue to tell ourselves and tell our brain and create the belief that we're a survivor, those neurochemicals from the stress and the chronic survival mode are constantly running in our brain, making everything else difficult and challenging. So what happens is your brain actually wants to shut down. And it shuts down because it can't handle all these neurochemicals and all the stress that's going on. So that makes everything else difficult, right? You feel overwhelmed. You feel like you can't get anything done. You wonder, why can't I make a simple decision like what to have for dinner when I used to do that in a heartbeat and it was never a problem? Why can't I make decisions anymore? It's because your brain is in survival mode. You've got the belief that you're a survivor. Now, this doesn't just impact the experience, it impacts so many other things. Like, have you realized that maybe in your financial world, you're still surviving there too? You make enough just to pay the bills, or you're constantly scrambling or wondering, how am I going to make my house payment? How am I going to get money for food? Oh my gosh, gas prices went up. How am I going to find the money to put the gas in my car so I can get to work? Because if I don't get to work, then I don't have the money to do anything else. So you're constantly in survival mode in terms of your finances as well. So it rolls over into so many different areas of the life. So what I want to share with you is what we do in coaching is we work on that survival mode. And we say, okay, you're no longer in survival mode. You survived it. And instead of labeling yourself as a survivor and telling your brain that you're constantly in survival mode, let's move you into your thriving life. Let's let the brain relax and come back and stop kicking off all those neurochemicals that happen when we're in survival mode, when we're in stress, when we're in overwhelm. So, one of the things I want to do right now is I want to celebrate you because you're here with me. I see you out there. You're here with me. And one of the ways that you can reduce overwhelm is to celebrate little things. So, and you can celebrate in small ways. It doesn't have to be a massive celebration. So, one of the things we can do right now is let's have a little happy dance that you're here with me today. Let's get it going on because I want to celebrate you for showing up and listening and learning how to change your brain so that you can stop being in survival mode so it doesn't impact every single decision you make. So that you can go back to making a decision about what you want to have for dinner with ease and with joy, so that you can go out and you can change your financial world as well, so that you can change your relationships, so that you can change your life and live the life you've been dreaming of. So let's work on this together. Let's work on going deeper and let's work on survival mode and see how that's truly impacting you. And let's change that. Let's remove that belief that you have to be in survival mode all the time. And let's create a new belief, the belief that's going to get you to where you want to go, the belief that is specific to you and your brain and what you want in your life. So let's do this. So you can contact me a couple ways. I just put a link in the first comment below. You can let's go deeper. Let's get on a 15-minute coaching call and let's take this deeper and see what's happening in your brain, not mine, yours, to figure out and work on this together to take you out of survival mode and to living that life you dream of. The other thing you can do is if you ever comment Thriver or Transform in any of my comments, I'll know what you're talking about. I know you want to go a little bit deeper, and I'll reach out and I'll contact you. And don't worry, no heavy sales calls, no nothing. It's just a conversation between you and me, to help you get to where you want to go. This is Heather Dunlop. Always remember, you have strength within you.